My name is Michaela. I am an Implementation and Quality Improvement Specialist at the Baker Center for Children and Families, and I'm here today to talk about co-design strategies. But first, like many of you, I watched the Paris Olympic Games, which might be an assumption, but it is so amazing and fun to see such amazing athletes from all over the world compete in these Olympic Games. However, I feel like in the US media in particular, there was one team that received a lot of coverage this year that typically doesn't in the previous Olympic Games, and that would be the men's gymnastics team, who just ended their 16-year medal drought this year. Now, we know that there is a very rigorous, specific, and intentional process to assemble an Olympic team. And in reviewing this, I know it usually takes, again, like everybody a part of the team to contribute and do their best to medal in a competition. However, I think there were two athletes in particular that really embodied this specific, rigorous, and intentional process. And they would be Frederick Richard and Stephen Rosick, which will classify them as one a generalist and the other one as a specialist. Now, Frederick Richard, he's considered a generalist because he competed in multiple different events. On the other hand, Stephen Rosick is considered a specialist because he was brought to the team to do one event and one event only, and that was the pommel horse. And if you are chronically online like I am, you will know that Stephen Rosick was also coined the term or given the name the pommel horse guy. So I say this because just like specialized teams are assembled and created for the Olympics to compete for gold, we create specialized teams as implementation scientists and practitioners to bring high quality implementation efforts to community members. One way we love to do that is to use some kind of theory, model, or framework. And so I will be referring to, for the rest of this presentation, the trans-creation framework, and really pulling out key steps in that framework and highlighting how we use that for our implementation effort. So starting first, the thing. So the thing we're talking about is Caregiver Conversations, which is a program with two goals. One, to develop a caregiver support group within a faith-based community, where community members are already receiving some level of social support. And secondly, to co-design the curriculum for Caregiver Conversations with community members that have some level of lived experience and expertise. Next, we leaned on our existing partnerships within the community to really start our efforts, but we also created and continued to develop our partnership and identify our generalists and our specialists. As at the Baker Center, we're considered a generalist because we're this hybrid of intermediary and purveyor organization. We also have our specialists. So we have one specialist that could really speak to the perspectives of the church community in our local setting. We also have a specialist that does a lot of advocacy work with parents and caregivers in the local setting. And we also have another specialist that provides some level of clinical service to community members in the setting. And next, we delegated the topic areas and the creation of the content to the specialists and really leaned on their expertise. Now, we did have, of course, weekly planning meetings for coordination, support. However, we really leaned on them. And we also provided modifications to the content to enhance the fit of the curriculum. And so we wanted this to be a very diverse effort with different perspectives represented because we wanted that shared ownership for the curriculum, especially from the community we wanted to serve. And so, of 9 trained facilitators, 7 actively ran support groups with 46 unique caregiver participants within a year of starting the program. And so I think this speaks to the level of adoption and reach of these programmatic efforts. And so I want to leave you with a parallel process here. No matter if you're assembling a team to compete for gold or assembling a team to bring about an implementation effort. You determine the thing, you integrate your specialists, teamwork makes the dream work, you adapt, and then you hope to make lasting impact. Thank you.